If you are following a pathological narcissist, then this means that you are headed deep and deeper into the sunken place. You're headed to the upside down. You are headed nowhere. You are on a highway to hell. This is why you hear me state often on this channel that you have no business in the third dimension, because that is where pathological narcissists live. They are in victim abuser consciousness. They are stuck in their lower ego. They did not develop past their lower ego. They did not individuate. And individuation is the process that people go through to become adults. So understand that Peter Pan did not survive the transition from being a boy to a man. Peter Pan did not evolve. Peter Pan has arrested development. That is what you are dealing with. So again, at the physical level, you could be dealing with someone that is in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or even elderly narcissists in their 60s, 70s, etc. Understand that behind the veil, they stopped growing somewhere between the ages of approximately 5 to 12 years old, because they have very severe psycho-spiritual arrested development. So at the level of the psyche, they have an impairment at the level of their mind, their willpower, and also their emotions, because they're based in shame and they cannot move past their pride. And at the spirit level, then understand that these individuals abandoned themselves in childhood. This is what you call dissociation or self-abandonment. So they have been drifting away in the sunken place for many, many years before you came into the picture. So understand that they are stuck at the bottom of the Hawkins scale, because they are delving deep and deep and deeper into darkness. Understand that as spiritual beings, we are here to grow. We are here to expand. We are here to get to enlightenment, or what you may commonly call self-actualization if you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow is very similar to the Hawkins scale by Dr. David R. Hawkins. You have to meet the lower needs before you can go up, right? Similarly, on the Hawkins scale, you have to transcend lower emotions to get to a higher vibration. So you have to let go of shame to get to guilt, right? You have to let go of guilt to eventually get to fear. You have to let go of fear to get to anger. You have to let go of anger to get to pride. And you have to let go of pride to get to courage, and so on. However, when it comes to pathological narcissists, well, they won't let go of their pride. They are rooted in their shame, which means that they have pathologically low self-esteem so low that they would probably have to look up to see it. So they do not love themselves, and because they do not love themselves, they are incapable of loving other people. And when it comes to pride, well, they are filled with pride. This is dysfunctional pride. So this is where their grandiosity and their false sense of superiority comes from. So prideful people believe that nothing is wrong with their behavior. They are perfect. And well, if they're perfect, then they don't need to change. So perfect people won't grow. And pride cometh before the fall, and they fall right back down to shame. Right back down into the first dimension, into the sunken place, into the upside down, because pathological narcissist people are on a highway to hell. And this is why you should not follow them, because you have no business in the third dimension. It is up to you to get the courage to walk away and stay away from these toxic personality types, because statistics say that most victims return to their abusers on average 7 times before they leave and become survivors. So it could be less or it could be more, but on average it is approximately 7 times. And this is because you were not in a mutually beneficial relationship. You were in an abuse cycle. And this is why things are always up and down, and left is right and right is left, and you can't make headway of what is happening. People, you are not in a mutually beneficial relationship. This is an abuse cycle, because pathological narcissists are stuck in victim abuser consciousness. This is how they operate. This is how their minds work. This is how they are at their level of consciousness. So while you have access to the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension and higher, well, they do not. They top out at pride. So understand that a prideful individual does not think that anything is wrong with their behavior. So understand that your abuser believes that you should adjust yourself to their abuse because they are not going to change. You want the narcissist to change. The narcissist believes that they are perfect. Perfect people do not need to change. And also understand that pathological narcissists do not have the capacity to self-reflect. They abandon their true selves in childhood. They abandon their spirit for a false self, the ego, the mask. And egos do not have the ability to self-reflect because egos are not a true self. An ego is a mind-made construct. So what the ego will do is project. And what the pathological narcissist will project is all of their darkness and deep-seated insecurities that they have within themselves. And you'll hear the narcissist say that, oh, nobody likes you. You don't have any friends. Everybody hates you. Just like Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. Because Gollum does not have love to give anyone. Gollum was Smeagol, a man that devolved into a monster. That is what you're dealing with. Someone with the spirit of Gollum. Someone that is losing their minds. And not only are they losing their minds, people, they are losing their entire souls. Because they are dark souls. They are lost souls. And this is what clinicians are calling a personality disorder. But understand that you're dealing with someone with a psycho-spiritual illness. And understand that pathological narcissists have been drifting away into the sunken place since their childhood years. That is where they live. And this is why you should not follow them. The grumpy old troll lives under the bridge because that is where they are comfortable. Do not follow pathological narcissists or you will also end up lost. This is why it feels like you're losing yourself in these relationships because you are being drained. You are here to grow. You are here to evolve. Pathological narcissists are not growing, hence they are devolving. They are not progressing because pathological narcissism is regressive. It gets worse over time. And I know that you can attest to this. For example, if you were in a narcissistic intimate relationship, you will see where that relationship got worse over time. Because pathological narcissist people, they age like milk. They get worse with time. They curdle. They do not age like wine. They do not get better with time because they are drifting further and further and further down into the sunken place. That is where they have been heading for a very long time, long before you came into the picture. They are stuck in the third dimension. They are comfortable where they are at. They do not want to change. They want you to adjust yourself to the deception. They want you to adjust yourself to the manipulation. Your abuser wants you to adjust yourself to the abuse. Abusers want your subservience. And do not think that if you give them this subservience that they are going to love you. Pathological narcissists do not have love to give. The most positive emotion that they can feel is dysfunctional pride. And pride cometh before the fall, and they fall right back down to shame. right back on the highway to hell, deeper and deeper and deeper into the sunken place.